So hey Vidhi, welcome to the show. It's really awesome that you're having to have you here. I mean, like you're having 13 years of experience, and I'm sure that this show is going to go really well. So I know I gave you a little introduction about yourself, but it would be great that you could also tell a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and how you got into the position right here now. Just a brief about it. It would be totally great.
So thanks, Jeffrey, for inviting me for on your show. I'll give you a small 1 minute introduction of myself. I am Vidhi from Mumbai, India, and I am a jewelry merchandiser turned digital marketer. Business owners to grow their impact, sales, and reach online. Like at present, I'm working with all kinds of clients in all domain and Indian. I have a domestic like Indian clients plus international clients also. So it's a great journey working as a digital marketer in last 1.5 years. So
Wow, that's
I
totally great.
specialize in Facebook
Mhm.
advertisement and Instagram growth basically.
Oh, and any reason like why you actually went into this marketing field? I mean, like there are tons of fields of that. Is it because of your studies or any or your interest, any background like things like that?
So my studies and my background never matched with each other. I am a finance graduate and I have done lots of things in accountancy, finance. I have a MCom degree with it and all that. But I was always working as a creative person in jewelry field. I was a merchandiser. I have also done designing, and I think I have done everything in from manufacturing till ready piece after sales service in jewelry. So my education never matched with the career. But as things grows, then you understand what exactly you want to do in life. Like in the starting phase, when you join a company in 17 years, sorry, in 19 or 20 years of your age, you don't know. You just see the salary and you just hop on the opportunity basically. But when you grow, then you understand working with so many people. Okay, this is what you exactly want to do in the life. So when I was growing, I understood. Okay, this is not I want to do. I want to be my own boss, and I want to work as a maybe as a marketer. I can help people in all that stuff. So then I started learning about digital marketing, and my most interest was on Instagram and Facebook advertisement. So I picked those things as my specialization, and that's the reason I'm doing this. Like
Wow, the thing is, the thing that really intrigates me a lot is that if people studying accounting, engineering, and all the other aspects of like other fields, irrespective to marketing, if they're coming to marketing field, I mean, like, what was the situation of the guys who are studying BCom and entering into marketing? That's what the situation is prevailing right now. I mean, like, you didn't set out to enter into marketing, but still you enter into marketing. So I guess probably that's one of the reasons
yes.
why actual marketers are jobless, and rather than people who are actually inspired to do marketing is getting a lot of jobs. So yeah, I guess probably that's one of the reasons. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So I'll answer that question. The thing is, it only book knowledge is not important. If you
Mm.
think that you have done something, you have a degree of marketing and book knowledge, that doesn't mean you can handle things. The 13 years of my experience of career, that made me learn how to be professional, how to ask people for the timing, how to talk to them, and a lot more stuff. So maybe that's the reason it was easy for me to set my be my own boss career and as a digital marketer more. And that's the reason I respect my 13 years of career. Maybe that thing is not when I was working there, I don't know anything about jewelry. I always had this thing in my mind. I know only jewelry, I know in and out about jewelry, but I don't know anything else about jewelry. But when I started learning things, when I got in my interest grows towards digital marketing and all, you automatically learn, and then you grow, and people also understand. Okay, fine, you have so much of knowledge and you have already been, how people are working, how their brains are working, who will buy stuff, who will talk to you, because that 13 years of experience made you learn so many things that I think book don't give you that knowledge basically.
Yeah, I think if someone hears this and they say that I just paid 4 lakhs of rupees in order to do an MBA, which is probably me, I think probably I can agree on to that because yeah, I totally understand. Because when I was studying BCom, I had no idea that there is something called this marketing sort of exist. I had no idea. The only thing I came to know, like these marketing, like digital marketing, even existed, is because of I saw a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk. He, one of his videos. I saw
Yeah.
that, and I saw Digital Pratik, and I saw that. So it just went on and on. It just went and just explored a lot. So I guess once I came into MBA, then I was, oh my God, marketing's there, finance is there. then there came like like an illusion, like what to choose and what not to choose. But yeah, I can totally agree on the point. Now, my major question when it comes to this is that how do you know when to start as a marketing consultant? Because you have been in experience for 13 years, and you said that it literally took like a tough decision to come out and being your own boss. So, what's your suggestion to say that when to know that I can actually help people in marketing, like to start as a marketing consultant? When's the right time to do it?
So see, if you, it's not about only marketing, it's about anything. I'll give you, and you can relate with any of this stuff. It's
Mhm.
like you, if you think that you can do something in XYZ career which you have not done till now, like marketing, I will say for me, there I have never learned marketing. Marketing was not even a subject because I was in finance. Okay, but then you get an interest. If you, even if it's your hobby, you need to learn things. start start taking courses, take a mentor, and then see, okay, what you are thinking, that is this your interest is correct, or you are just carried away, okay, by seeing, okay, that person is earning 2 lakh rupees a month, okay, I should do that. Like most of the people just carried away, they don't understand is it their interest or they are getting carried away. So start learning things. This is how I started with digital marketing. I started taking 2 3 courses. With the job I started learning, okay, when I got the confidence, okay, yes, this is what exactly I want to do, and now I'm very sure I can handle 2 3 kind, or I can help people. Then I quit my job and then I started. So in any domain, I'll say, if you think you can do it, still take courses, still learn from your mentor. Mentor is something very very important in your life. That this is what I have learned in 1.5 year. Without mentor you cannot achieve anything. Make your mentor and trust them and learn whatever they are teaching you. Even if you think you know it, learn from them. They will give you so many small tips and tricks which you would have never imagined without them. And then start pitching client. So this is how I started. I took 2 3 courses. Started learning, I started reading books, and then when I was sure that yes, I can do it, I within 15 days I got a client. Like when I
Wow.
started, I searching for a client within 15 days, and with, and they paid me before the, like I resigned from my job 13, and next 13 I had an advance for starting a project. So it was like, it doesn't take too long if you are very sure that whatever you are doing is correct or not.
I think, I think the one point I guess people will obviously think a lot is that the transition from leaving your job to being your own boss, which you said as a marketing consultant. So I think being confident, I think that point. Do you think how much pressure did you actually have? Because as you said, I mean, like 13 years after, you must have actually earned a lot of money to say that I can be my own boss. But still, so people for who want to become their own boss after 5 years, 6 years of experience, the transition, do you want to tell something to them that the transition might be hard, but just some tips regarding that? I mean, like how hard the transition would be from that place to this place.
So it's basically the transaction is a switch of mindset.
Hmm.
The thing is, when you're leaving a job, the stress is that next month you on the first you're not going to get salary.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a major stress which people are thinking. And few people take it as an advantage. Okay, today I only have left this, so tomorrow I'm going to try, and tomorrow will never come. So you, like if you are plan something, then start working on it immediately. Don't think that you can, now you have just taken a break, now you need a holiday after 10 years or 5 years. No, that it is not that case. If you have left your job for some purpose, so respect that purpose and start working on it immediate basis, instead of taking a break or taking things and like very casually and all that stuff. But so the thing is, respect your decisions, take action immediately. And if you don't have a mentor, please have a mentor. Paying a fees is worth it to anyone if you really trust them.
Wow.
And free courses doesn't work. I really want to mention that free courses doesn't work, guys. Don't run after free courses, they doesn't work.
Why any reason?
See, I personally don't take free courses. Even if I take it, I never open it because I have not paid for it. Okay, even if I paid,
Yeah.
even if I'm paying 200 rupees of for something, I will 100% go and open that thing and I will check what is there inside. But
Mhm.
because it is free, I'm never going to open it because that doesn't come in my priority list only.
Mhm.
So free courses, people just go and take it. It's just it change your mindset. Free courses will never work.
Wow. I guess I do have a lot of free courses in my Udemy itself. So I think probably I can totally relate to that because, that.
It will not work. I have so many in my hard disk, you will see, but I have never ever opened it in 1.5 years time. I have only opened courses which I have paid for it, and
Mhm.
this is not which I have heard from someone. I have experienced it. First, even I used to think, no, no, free courses so ho jayega. We can do something with free courses. Free courses are quite valuable, but your mindset is such, you will never open that course. So now I don't even download free course. I don't even log in for it. I know I'm never going to do it, so I just pay the fees and I join it, and I'm like, then only I can learn. Without paying, I don't learn. That is one thing which I have learned in life: pay fees and learn, guys. Don't think nothing is free.
Yeah, I think the worst thing that can, people mindset is like, oh my god, I've paid it, so I think I just have to get some return out of it as well. So yeah,
Yes.
I guess probably I can. And the one of the many things why I actually asked for the transition is that I always tell my mother that I want to start my own company, because right now I'm actually a freelancer. I'm having some freelance team management, like creating content creation and all of that stuff. I'm doing it. And when I told my mother that after 2 or 3 years I would just quit my company and start my own, because at that time maybe probably I would have saved some money and stuff. So when I told that, my mom was like, "You mean a full time, no job, like an entrepreneur sort of stuff?" I'm like, "Why are you saying that in that way? Say it in like an enthusiastic way." She didn't, because
Yeah.
it's like. Yeah, there will be fixed income. I mean, like there will be months where you get a lot of clients. There will be months that you get no
Yeah.
clients. I can totally relate to that. But I think people, the major stuff being afraid, maybe parents. I don't know how it went on your way, but probably after 13 years, I guess probably no parent would ever ask like what you're about to do in the next stage. But I think in the starting stages, obviously people will be so afraid to do that. So that's one of the many reasons why I wanted to ask. And another one important.
So
Yeah,
it's most important point you have mentioned. It's a roller coaster ride of an income for any business owner or for a freelancer. Maybe 1 month I'm earning 1 lakh rupees of month and I'm so happy, and next month I don't have any client, maybe I will not be earning 10,000 also. So it's the most important things to switch in the mindset is about the roller coaster of income, that one should be mentally prepared. And that is one of the reason why Indian parents are not supporting also, like because they know there will be no fixed income for their child or children if they are starting a business. So that mindset, if we are ready for it, like it took me time when I quit my job, it was there in my mind. But starting it takes time, but then you adjust with it, okay. Then you plan your stuff accordingly also, that you start keeping wait list for your client, you keep on applying through strategy for it. And then maybe after, like, maybe at present, even for income is a roller coaster for me also, but
yeah.
I am assuming after 6 months time I will be making a strategy where I will be having at least fixed income which I deserve it basically.
That's great. That's great. I mean, like, yeah, I think probably many people need to have a strategy because of this pandemic. I mean, like, at one point, many people actually earned a lot. Some people lost everything. I mean, like, I think people who actually had jobs lost many stuff rather than people not having jobs and being as a freelancer. Because only when this pandemic started, I started get a lot of gigs. I mean, like, people wanted to create a lot of content and they asked me, like, can you edit this? Can you edit that? I think probably at one point when someone loses something, someone probably gain. So yeah, I can totally agree on that. And and another stuff I want to ask you is regarding this Instagram carousel images, because at first it was really booming, and after that it was like it didn't boom a lot, and it was gone out of the game. And again, it started to boom, like this carousel images. People want to sliding it again and again, creating more engagement. I mean, like, what is the reason behind it? Any particular reason? Any reason behind that?
See, carousel images are always better than a stacked one image, like a single page image. Carousels are better because uh, the reason it is booming, people are not reading the caption. We are putting so much of our time in writing captions. Even you must be knowing, you have a content writer for it. It takes so much of time and efforts to write a caption, but audiences are not reading caption. So the thing is, when you are putting it in a carousel format, they get attracted and they just swipe it and start reading it. Even if they have 10 carousel, they will swipe to all 10 carousel. But if you write that in a caption in 1 to 10 point, the 80% of the people are not reading it. Like, we suggest that yes, captions are very important. Even I write such long caption, I write it for client, but somewhere in my mind I know 80% of my audiences are not reading the caption. But when I convert them into a carousel image, I'm very seeing the like, seeing the comment, I know that people are reading the carousel pointer which I'm putting it in it. So that's the reason carousel are booming. And people actually, basically they don't even have time. You have to attract them via graphic. We have just few seconds of time to get our audiences stop and check our images. So if our carousel are quite informative, or we can say quite attractive and all, then yes, they are taking their time and swiping the carousel and all. But still in the caption, there is, I think India will take a few more years so that people mindset change and they start reading the captions also.
And any particular reason like why people aren't reading the caption? Is it because like they aren't interested, or is it because of the view that Instagram? Because obviously in Instagram it will be so small, the letters inside. So maybe people might, get them some like not able to look forward, anything like that. Any particular reason?
Yeah, I see. Basically, you have only 1 to 2% audiences on your Instagram following who are your actual client, which
Yeah.
is for every business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, maximum people are just browsing, just seeing your content, or just doing like just spending a time. But only 1 to 2%. Captions is compulsory because those 1 2% people are reading your caption and they are only going to give you a business. And otherwise for rest of them, Instagram is just a time spent. They are getting bored, and it's just a habit that if people are getting even 5 minutes of time, they just click on Instagram and they keep on browsing it. So it's more of, maximum people who are liking the post are also not reading the captions. They just got a habit to like, and they're just browsing. Even we, if we are very lazy someday and we are just opening, we are also doing the same thing. Even
Yeah.
though we know what the caption is, we know what people are offering, still sometimes we also behave the same like others, right? So, but for 1% people, we have to write the caption because those are our actual audiences. And otherwise, Instagram demade it as a commercial place, right? We are
Yeah.
selling it, we are providing our service. Otherwise, it was an entertainment platform. All the entertainment platform, we have converted them to a business platform.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think people are doing correct. It's just we are trying to be, our expectation is high that we are trying to get business from all this platform.
Yeah, I mean, like too much effort. Like, still, it's just not the worth the risk. I guess probably. I mean, like too much effort is still putting onto that, but still the conversion rate may be small. But I guess probably the stuff, and the attention span is also going really really low every single day. I mean, like when TikTok was released, people were so interested in watching just 15 seconds of the video rather than watching a 1 minute video. And when Instagram does it as well, they are pushing so hard, like they just push the search button as well to the top so that people won't look for the search rather than the reels. So how do you think a small business can actually leverage the reels in order to grow their business? Any tips on that?
See, as we all know now, people are not reading captions. So the way you express it now, now I think 2 3 days back, Instagram has put, instead of 15 seconds, they have changed the
Yeah.
reels to 30 seconds also. So I think they are trying their hard to push people to make more videos. The reason is also, now the organic growth from the feed has taken to reels also. Now if you are
Yeah.
posting some carousel and all, the reach has become less. Instead of that, if you are posting reels or videos, the organic growth is more. Okay, so even Instagram is pushing very hard for us to put on the reels so that many people see it. And plus, on every hashtag there is one special place allocated for reels only.
Yeah.
If you go any hashtag, there is one on in top 9. There is one place for reel videos only. So Reels is a very good platform if you are promoting. If you can promote your products in 15 seconds time or a 30 seconds time, it is very good place to get organic reach and promotion. Plus, you don't need too much of efforts. Like even a phone camera can work. You don't need professional photographer or video editor for it. Also, for small businesses, if they are looking out to promote their product and get more reach, reel is really very good time for them to start putting reels video and get their business promoted.
I think, and actually, I can totally agree to your point. And also, when TikTok was banned, not only businesses suffered a lot. There are people who are like in the middle class or in the the poor stages. They got a lot of traction when it comes to this this stuff. And most probably, not many people can actually install like no Instagram and use it. But TikTok was really really useful. And why do you actually think that Instagram is like copying every single stuff? I mean, like this video don't won't actually go to Mark Zuckerberg, so he won't sue us or anything like that. So why do you think that people actually like like especially Instagram copying a lots and lots of stuff in the other spaces like on TikTok or on Snapchat and all the stuff? Why do you think Instagram is doing that, and why do you think people are also falling for it, even though when they know that it's actually just another copy of another app? Any reason?
So people are now getting everything in one place, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go for you don't have to go reels. If you want to shoot a video, you don't have to go to TikTok. If some other feature, you don't have to go to Snapchat. Okay, so if Instagram is providing and everything, and it's I think it doesn't call as copy, it is called as a business sense. Basically, if you are also business and you businessman of and you are outsourcing something, after few days you will get a permanent employee there and you will start doing everything in house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what every business owner is doing it, and every business is doing it. So if your competitors are doing better, you always want to do better than them, and you want to provide better services to your client at a cheaper rate or at a best rate. And plus, they have a support of Facebook, right? They
Yeah.
have a good Facebook advertisement, uh, which is doing very great. So it's a
Mhm.
competition, and everyone is doing it. I think it's the same strategy. He is using it. He's investing on technology. He's trying to get everything done in Instagram instead of the user going out. That's the reason people are like, first people used to have so many options on the mobile. They used to go to multiple options, right? Now they know for videos also they can put it on Instagram. For any other stories they can put use on Instagram. So first people used to put so much of WhatsApp status, right? Now
Yeah.
everyone is just putting Instagram stories. They have even forgot what is WhatsApp status. Like I have not put WhatsApp status since months and months. I don't know when I put the last status. So because now my only attention, if I want to upload something, I will put it on my Instagram stories, nor on my WhatsApp status. So this is what he is making a smart move basically for all of, and easy for his audience to, and giving only one platform. Like how Zomato is helping. First you
Yeah.
used to call for 10 place, if you want to order four things from four restaurants, you used to call four different
Mhm.
places, right? Now on the one app, one go, you can order everything. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what everyone is doing.
I mean, I guess probably one of the reasons why I asked is that there are lots of people I watch on YouTube always say that, okay, like Instagram reaches down, and Facebook has increased their ad spend for the minimum amount. So when people complain a lot of stuff, I always get wondered like, why is he even doing this? So obviously there are like he's actually focusing on the mass audience. So probably I mean, like people who are interested to spend millions and millions of dollars on ads, and they can convert into tons and millions of other money. So yeah, I guess probably that's one of the reasons. And this is another question I want to ask you is because it's actually behalf of my like meme creators, okay, the meme creators of my state, because we people are really really like enthusiastic when it comes to memes. Trust me, if you could see some of the images, it will be totally like like totally awesome. I can just narrate it in words. So they were saying for the past 2 to 3 months that their reach has been gone down, like really really gone down. Any particular reason why they're not pushing these sort of meme pages? Any reasons? Accept so much.
So it's not about mean pages. Reach has
Mhm.
gone down overall. So see,
Mhm.
if you are posting something, you will think your page is not getting reach. You are getting affected, and you have those similar people around you, and they are also saying the same thing. So that's the reason the mean pages are talking to other mean pages, and they're like, "Nee, we are also not getting reach. We are." So it's not about see, it's just a myth that Instagram is doing so for some particular industry or for some particular pages or something.
Mhm.
It's not like it's overall algorithm which works.
Mhm.
Okay, they don't have time to find only mean pages and reduce their growth or something. No, it's just a myth. If people are saying it, it's just for to getting the more mileage that, oh, this people have said, okay, this works. I don't even believe in shadow ban, and all the Instagram has
Mhm.
not proven it. People are making, there is no videos or no tweet or by Instagram that there is such kind of stuff, but still there are thousands of videos on YouTube channel. And after listening, then you think, okay, this maybe thousand of people are saying it really
Mhm.
works, maybe it is like this. So just listening to them, people started believing it, but the fact is it is nothing like that. Organic growth has reduced in last 2 3 months. That is the true. Even I am facing on my page, being a digital marketer, I also think that yeah, my page is not working. But
Yeah, yeah.
see, at the end they want to earn money via ads. They are here to, they have entertained people since long. Now
Mhm.
people have got lots of entertainment. Now it's time for them to take money what they are providing for. So if you want to grow, you need to invest on advertisement and all. Organic strategy, everyone knows, everyone has learned
Mhm.
about organic strategy and all, and everyone has tried also, like to how to get clients organically, how to pitch, how to go to hashtag, how to comment, how to nurture, and everything is all old story. Now you have to spend money, get in front of correct audience. People will see, okay, okay, this company is spending money, maybe it's a true company, they will approach you and they will interact and you can close the deal. That is the best way I can suggest. Otherwise organic growth has, now if they can try it on reels, yes, in on reels there is
Mhm.
still organic growth. So I'll suggest them to try reels. It's the same app, it's just a difference of platform.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why is that when people actually mention that exactly the meme page is not getting reach, and they were telling their audience to comment on it, to like it, so that it get more reach. So I actually thought in one instance maybe they are trying it to increase their engagement, sort of like a sympathetic way, saying that okay, my page has gone down, Instagram is killing me, so please help me. So it's kind of, I thought that they are kind of creating a sympathetic way in order to engage with more their audience. And then only I occasionally found out, like you said, it's been gone down for many people. And mostly meme creators on our side, they don't like more do advertisement. They only get money through ads which placed on their pages, like like
Yes.
dresses, or some watch or anything like that. They mostly gain money out of that. So, and probably they won't be interested in putting ads. I probably can say that they would never won't be interested, because like,
See, there are
yeah, yeah.
sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's just because the people, even the movies and the television channels, they are trolling themselves nowadays. The purpose of meme creation is gone. They are trolling themselves. Like in our we have the Sun TV called. Okay, they will troll themselves and they would promote that particular meme. I mean, like, then why are the meme pages are for? So I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of get really frustrated when people say that like their reach is low. So yeah.
So there is one more reason
Mm-hmm.
behind it. So reach has gone down. That is true. And for mean pages or for other pages, if you are investing on something and getting reach, that is one story. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly when the reach was up, as soon as the lockdown happened, the reach suddenly went up
Yeah.
because everyone was free and everyone was on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, on social media. That time no one came and said, okay, now the reach, the organic reach has gone up.
Mm.
Okay, so that time the reach has automatically gone up because people were free that time. They were sitting at home and they had no other option instead of scrolling Instagram. Now, after the lockdown is over, people have something to do, right? They have to
Yeah.
earn, they have to go out and work. So they have less time to go on Instagram and engage with your page or do entertainment and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason also the reach has gone down, and this is people are seeing that effect. Okay, the reach I used to get in April is not the reach which I'm getting, not even a 50% reach I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
The reason behind is that time audiences were free. They have so much of time that they were coming on your page 2-3 times also, and they were liking, commenting, and all that stuff. But now they have started working, lockdown has gone, so everyone is occupied at their own routine, right? They are into their own routine. So that's the reason individual is thinking that organic reach has gone down. Okay, but this is not what Instagram has done it purposely. It is the life cycle of our which we are changing
Yeah.
day to day. Okay, so if you also think that what you were doing in April, you are doing 3 times more work at present. That's the reason you are also spending less time on Instagram platform. So obviously your audience, your followers, you cannot go and like and engage with them. You will not be seeing so many things of what they are presenting and all. So for your audience, organic reach has gone down, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think probably I definitely, just I was just thinking, from which part shall I cut this clip? Which you started, like, the part when you said that during the starting of lockdown, you said, and at the end. So it's just a thought come to mind, because we have this another podcast. It's called You Go Man Why Me. It's a Tamil podcast. It's sort of starting by my native language. So the first season is all about like interviewing meme creators. So I know they would say this, like, my reach is getting low because they have 3 to 4 admins. So I'm definitely going to send them this video if they ever say that, their reach is getting low, because it's not just you, man. It's just for everyone. So definitely I'm
Yes.
going to tell them that. So one weird question in the middle I always ask my guests is that, so it's probably I don't, it's 4:30 for you as well. I most of the time I interview a lot of people from all over the world, so I definitely wonder, like, where are you in the time zone? So okay. So the question is, who was the last person that you actually made smile today?
I think my husband, because at home we are only two of us, then I have no more options, right?
Wow,
I'm
that's
a
probably.
answer. I didn't have to use a brain for it. I know he's only at home, and
Yeah, I think
if you would
probably.
have known whom you were shouting or whom you were made sad, then he's the only person. I have for everything. He is the only one. The option is the same.
Wow, I guess I could have asked any question, still the answer would have been same. Wow, that's really great. That's really great. Awesome. So one final question before closing is that, what would you actually give as the best tip the whole world, according to you, to improve their career in the field of marketing? The best tip in the whole world.
So the best tip in the marketing is select your niche. Okay, don't try to become, don't have an agenda to to hold a agency. Okay, the one thing which people are doing wrong, they have a target to start an agency. Okay, but it is not that agency can get you money. Even if you are a freelancer, can get you lot of money. So select your particular niche the way I have selected it. Like I am doing only specializing on Facebook advertisement and Instagram growth at present. So if you are selecting a particular niche, digital marketing is like an umbrella. It has SEO, it
Yeah.
has website development, it has graphic, it has content creation, and lot more. Select your niche, and then you will see the result. Like money will flow if you are selecting a niche. So don't try to be jack of all. Always try to be master of one. That will really help you in the field, especially in the field of marketing, I'll suggest.
Oh, wow, that's totally really an amazing one. And so, by the way, just one more thing is that, if in case people want to find you in any place, like on your services or anything like that, what would be the best place to find you?
Instagram. Instagram is my web. I guys, I don't have a website. All my clients come
Wow,
like I
that's
don't believe in website.
that's the best thing that I've ever heard in this whole interview. Okay, you don't have a website, seriously?
I
Wow.
don't have So I operate from Instagram. I personally answer all the comments. I also personally answer all the DM. I personally, matlab for every request I see to it personally on Instagram. So if anyone is willing to find me for my services or for anything else, contact me on Instagram at the rate Vidhi Tharad, VIDHITHARAD. So I will be always there personally to help you.
Yeah,
So
guys,
like
believe
website, I
me.
don't believe in website. What services you will show on website? Everything is there on my page. If people want to see, all my results are there. I don't need
Mhm.
website.
Wow, I'm actually having a website. Okay, what you're saying is not hurting me. Okay. So probably, yeah, I guess
I
it differs.
asked
Yeah.
my clients,
Hmm.
I asked my client why you have made the website. So one of my client for writing a testimonial. I don't know where to put the testimonial. So I created a website for testimonial. I was like, you could have created a graphic and put it on your Instagram
Yeah.
page. Just simple. Why you created a website? And you're paying that website guy to putting that testimonial every time
Hmm.
when you get a testimonial. You ask them to put it on the website, and you're paying them for it.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, I don't pay. I
so,
don't
if
pay.
so you are smart then. But people who don't go, who are not that user
Hmm.
friendly and all, they do pay. And I don't know what's exactly the use, why they are putting it. Someone say it's a business profiles and something, but I think if you're using your Instagram, if you want to really create a business profile, LinkedIn is the right place to create it.
Yeah.
If you want to show your work, Instagram is the right place. If you want to hang out people, Facebook is a correct place. So I think if you use this social media platform,
Hmm.
maybe in future, yes, I will be making a website where I will be asking people to directly click, pay. And if you have that service, e-commerce type,
Yeah.
like your people are just paying it, clicking it, then yes, website is very important. But just for introduction purpose, I don't think so website is required.
Wow, that's really good. I guess I take that into mind as well because I actually have the website like mostly it's kind of a resume for my website as I'm doing my MBA right
Yeah,
now, my final year. So
yeah.
obviously when I finished, so if someone asks me like tell me about yourself, and at the end I can say that I also have a website. You can check that out. It would be cool, right? When the MBA guy says that you can check out my
But how many people will go and actually check it? Matlab, do you know the ratio? Like, see, Instagram they are using day in day out. They make,
Mhm.
if you just share your handle, I'm just sending you a handle and you share it. They will go and check out on Instagram and they will follow you also, and they will also always see your updates, right? Whatever
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
putting, it will be coming there as an update for them.
Mhm.
But if you're updating your website, there are very less chance that people will go there and check what new you are adding it on your website.
Yeah, unless you are having newsletter every single time and you're adding it to the mail chip in order to send those emails. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot of work. Wow, that's great. And is there anything else you want to ask me?
I don't, when and what you're going to cut it in the final thing.
Actually, this is the final stuff. I mean, like once you finish,
Yeah.
if you have any questions to ask me, then after that I'll do a closing and we'll finish it. Don't worry.
No, I don't remember any. Actually, this is not what I have made a list to ask you a question. So I don't have any questions for you. Maybe I will ask you in the message or something if I have anything in mind.
Yeah, of course, of course. And thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. It really means a lot. And you said a lot of great things. And guys, like when she said that she will personally, comment and do it, trust me, she would, because even after having that much of followers, she replied to my comment. She actually patiently did everything. So thank you so much, Vidya, for coming on to the podcast. Really means a lot. And I will leave everything in the description, guys. Her in order to find her on Instagram. And sadly, I mean, like fortunately, she doesn't have a website, so that probably won't be a lot of work for me as well to in order to put on the description. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on to the show, and I'll see you later, guys. Thank you so much, Vidhi.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is my coming on your show. Thank you so much for inviting.